Let's talk about the importance of lowering inflammation from perimenopause all the way to postmenopause, and why this is something that holds people back from healing. So, as you know, I talk about hormones every day. I really make a point to educate my women, and especially the women that work with me when we have the one-to-ones, and also the public, because I think all of us need to have this information about inflammation. So things are changing into the body. I always explain the role of estrogen and progesterone into our balance, but also the mechanisms of the body and how the body works. So think about the body as this perfect machine, and the hormones that are in our body, which are many, much more than the ones that we talk about all the time, like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol, and so on. They are in the messengers, right? They are the ones that take the message from one part of the body to one part of the body. And that's why our entire body has receptors where our hormones can attach to and give the message. So think about many post offices all over the body where the postman, which are the hormones, can just deliver these messages. If and when we have all these receptors around the body, but our hormone production goes low, we have less postmen for these post offices. So what happens is that the messages don't get to the destination, and basically we perform less. And one of the things that relies heavily on our balance of hormones is our immune system, which is why as we get through perimenopause, we start seeing a lot more inflammation. So we can get injured more, we can get, and I'm not talking about acute inflammation that tells us, oh, you got hurt and, fix it. It's more about that chronic inflammation, sometimes even undetected inflammation that is there for a long time before we pick it up because it has caused many issues. So this is why when we start in perimenopause, we have to think preventatively. We have to think how to eat in a way that is supporting our body. And just because some ladies are lucky, some of you are lucky they don't have symptoms, that doesn't mean that you are immune to inflammation. So what we need to do is to look at the whole picture, and actually before we get the symptoms, to prevent it. And God knows, I wish I had this information before, because when I started learning about hormones, it's all because I was already in a state of inflammation. I had type 2 diabetes, I had adrenal fatigue, my liver was clogged up, literally clogged up, and I had no idea. And I just knew that my hormones were off, but I just couldn't explain how, what to do, because nobody could give me the answers. So now that I have this information, all I want to do is share, because to me, it's criminal that we don't know about this. It's also criminal that doctors don't know about this. Many do, they're learning, and God bless them. Thank God we have them, because those are the people I'm learning from. But there are so many that if you go to your GP or if you go to the hospital, they have zero clue. And that is really dangerous. That really shows that the system doesn't care about education and continuous education. It just cares that, hey, you went to university, you got your degree. You know what? I went to university and studied politics years ago. 25 years ago, 27 years ago, actually. And the information is not, maybe it's more valuable because like history is history, and like, but current policy and what I learned then really doesn't match, right? So it's, for me, even what I learned in nutrition school, what I learned in naturopathic school, if I don't keep up with the science, I'm behind, because we of course rely on traditional methods that have been there for millennia, and that's great because we really can see how strong and profound they are. But I want to learn about what the microbiome is doing now, like what is the latest research, like everything, because that's gonna just move the needle for my clients versus going to someone that doesn't move on with the times. So this is really, really important, which is why preventative measures are so important to me. And this is why I'm sharing with you, because guys, before you start having symptoms, please pick it up. Now I'm going to shift talking to the older ladies who didn't have this information at the time because people were not talking about it. Some of them maybe were on HRT in the 90s, and then we were taken off after 2001 with the results that were not peer reviewed but shared by the media from the women studies. So unfortunately, a lot of chaos there. Women were taken off HRT, and a whole bunch of stuff started happening, like osteoporosis and more inflammation and sleep illness and you name it, UTIs, you name it. And even to this day, we're only seeing research now that shows the connection between a UTI and lowering estrogen and the drying vaginal wall and what to do for it. Can we apply local estriol? Do we need progesterone even if we don't have a uterus? Like all these questions that are getting only answered now. Are we safe to take these hormones? There is always a caveat, there's always a risk with every medication. And I really laugh when people are like, oh, HRT is very dangerous. I'm like, the majority of young girls are put on the pill not to fall pregnant, you know? It's like, how is that different from HRT? But we are fine to put all these young women on these pills, which, by the way, come with a whole array of dangers that even HRT doesn't have. Like, for example, changing microbiome, changing the brain, and cancer is one of them. Clotting of the blood. I mean, hey, like, and cancer too. So it's like we are talking about HRT as if it's a bad thing, but then we are giving everybody a contraceptive pill. It's like, it is really dystopian sometimes. So for the ladies that were taken off any solution before, or didn't have the information, were not educated, that didn't find educated practitioners, now they find themselves in this heavy state of inflammation, which comes with body weight gain. It comes with body composition shifts, which of course happens because of hormones anyway, whether you are inflamed or not. There are ways, measures to do that. Declining collagen at a rate that maybe is even faster than if you had a preventative measure. Sleepiness, I said it, and with that comes anxiety. And so women, in fact, through perimenopause start having anxiety, and the first thing they offered is antidepressants, which is crazy because that's not the solution. And so we have an array of things that are happening in our body. And when you are older and things have been going on for a while and this inflammation has been there for a while, it will take a little bit longer to get healthier. So what do we do? Well, we have to look at the whole picture. Like, first of all, historically, what has happened in your life that has contributed to this? What were the choices that you were making before that has contributed to this? And then the major part, nothing is irreversible, truly, unless you die. You can reverse everything, you can improve it at the very least. And that means commitment. And this is where we struggle, because I think as a society, we're not accepting that us women have particular needs. So in our circle of friends and families, we get gaslit. In our doctor's office, we get gaslighting all the time. And we, instead of getting supported and understood because we're going through these shifts, we're told that we need to adapt to how society works, right? You're socializing, so it's normal to socialize with a drink. But you know what? In menopause, a drink is not going to be beneficial for you. It's never beneficial anyway to drink alcohol. But like in menopause, postmenopause, and perimenopause, forget it. It's just not a good time to bring the stuff in your body. Like, your gut microbiome is less resilient. Your nervous system is less resilient. And yes, a glass of wine may relax some people, but the aftermath, the impact is just not worth it, because there is no safe amount of alcohol. And we know this because science has proven it. And just because we're being politically correct, because it's a major industry, the alcohol industry, which is now, of course, legal, so the government makes money from it, we're not going to say this is what it is. And very few doctors actually say this is what the science shows. No beneficial amount of alcohol at all. Zero. So, the guidelines tell you to take a pint or whatever a week, and that is safe. It's not safe. And it's especially not safe for women. So your commitment to yourself needs to precede and oversee your social status, which means you don't have to stop socializing, you don't have to stop traveling, you don't have to stop doing the things that you love. You need to just modify. By modifying, I mean put yourself first and just think ahead. I have some ideas. If you go to a bar where people are having wine, and we don't want to be judgmental and tell them that they shouldn't, and everybody should do their homework. But if you are aware and you listen to your body, order a like a nice spritzer, but made with sparkling water or soda water without sugar and some lime or lemonade. And if you want to get fancy, ask them to put some fresh fruit in your water so that it gets flavored. That's your drink. And you know what? People won't even wonder if after a while they stop even questioning you if it's alcoholic or not. They won't make comments. And if they make comments at the beginning, this is not about you. It's about them. It's about their insecurity. I learned when I was working in banking, and I refused to go socializing after work because I just wanted to prioritize my mental health. I was told that I would never get a career in banking sales, which I didn't really care about, because people only trust you when you're meeting them with that, which is why salespeople go to dinners with their clients and they drink together. And it's not a healthy meal. It's not, let's go to a salad bar. Let's go to a fancy restaurant and open a bottle of wine. Because that moment of we're both drinking, so our guard is down on both sides, makes the other person comfortable. This is what it is. It's psychology. So you can imagine how people feel very uncomfortable around people that don't drink, because we're alert, we're sharp, we remember things, and their state of mindset, like mind, or even sobriety obviously is altered, so they could say stupid things that you will remember and we're gonna feel ashamed about. So this is not about you, it's about them. So when people say, I like a glass of wine, no, you like the social aspect of it, because even though, sure, some people might actually like the flavor of wine and you might enjoy it, again, it comes to priority. If you are in a state of inflammation, the last thing you want to put in your body is alcohol, but you need to decide if this is important enough for you. If it's not, sure, again, we all have agency to decide what we want, and you can choose not to care. That's okay. But if you have the information and you do care, and suffering and being in pain and uncomfortable is bigger than that moment of socializing, then make choices. Same when you go for dinner at your parents' house. Like, for example, people always tell me, well, I'm vegan, but, like, if you are saying but after you say you're vegan, you're not vegan. Okay, you're plant-based, but yeah, when I go to my blah blah blah, I don't want to offend them, so I will eat whatever they cook. Okay, so you're plant-based most of the time, and then occasionally you're not. Don't say you're vegan though, because veganism is not about the diet, it's about the ethics, and that is more than the diet. And then I always say marry a vegan diet, a vegan lifestyle with a plant-based diet, which is healthy, because that also, unhealthy vegans don't serve a purpose, quite honestly. So we are very, we feel like we need to fit in a mold that makes other people feel comfortable. But what about you feeling comfortable? Because behind closed doors, when you're suffering, when you have pain, when you're not feeling comfortable, when you're bloated, when you feel like you can't eat anything, when you feel discouraged by your state, by your mental state, your physical state, do people that drink with you come in and support you? I have very, very, very low expectations of that, unfortunately. Plus, we get very, very timid and self-conscious to even ask for help at that time. So I urge you to please start looking after yourself, which is why looking after yourself means lowering inflammation, and that's your diet, that's lifestyle. And when it comes to your diet, hormones are kings and queens of the show. You want to make sure that you serve the estrogen queen and you serve the progesterone queen. Estrogen likes low glucose. She doesn't like this up and down of glucose spikes, which means if you don't have a period, if you don't have a normal cycle, we do the moon, but also we have this approach of 3 days looking after estrogen, so low glucose. And one other reason is you are going to be improving your insulin sensitivity, because as we get older and we lose estrogen, we also become insulin resistant, which is horrible because it comes with an array of issues, including the possibility of getting into metabolic issues like type 2 diabetes or even cardiovascular health. So we need to make sure that we are thinking about that. So 3 days, low glycemic, lots of greens, lots of low glycemic fruits, like beautiful protein from like tofu and tempeh, sauerkraut, like a lot of probiotic rich foods. And then 1 day a week after, or 1 day after these 3 days, enjoy some more starches. from nature, not the cake from the pasteleria where I'm in Portugal, like there's pastry shops everywhere. No, I'm talking about your sweet potatoes, the potatoes, your buckwheat, your oatmeal. And oatmeal, depending on your metabolic health, there is maybe a space to put it even in other days, but it really is a case by case, and certainly once everything is regular, not at the beginning. A healing journey needs to start with an approach that is very consistent and that tells you, let's just do this right, get the body in the right place, let's over inflammation. Once you're there, you actually can start inserting different things and then experimenting and listening to your body, see how you feel, and then take it easy. When people say a little bit of moderation, I hate that, because people don't know what moderation is. There is no benchmark for moderation, really. It's not quantifiable. It's all about what I think moderation means. But if I think moderation is a bag of crisps a week because I haven't had crisps the other 5-6 days, is that moderation? Or considering what's in that bag of crisps, no, it's not moderation. You see what I mean? So we have to really be mindful of the language that goes with this. So once you're supporting your progesterone with these, and then you go back on supporting estrogen, this metabolic switch allows you to move from working on the fat you already have in your body stored there, especially in your belly area, and then going for replenishing glycogen stores, but also allowing the body to know, I am bringing more glucose in, so instead of using the storage, let's use what I have now in the body, what is coming in, and then I go back to using what's stored. Because if you are not using what you're inserting in your body at that point, you're going to store it. So your reserves get bigger than what you consume. This is why even exercise is super important for metabolic health, and it's not just diet. So walking and moving the body, and even if it's just a yoga practice every day for 10 minutes on your mat, move your body. And I always say start in the morning, because our cortisol level will go up in the morning. That's natural, is to wake us up. So before you eat anything, move your body 10 minutes and then have your meal. So many different things that we can discuss, but all of this will contribute to lowering inflammation. And I'm not even going into the supplements that we can take and should take sometimes when we're getting older. I'm not talking about some of the practices we can choose to do if we have the means, like red light therapy, saunas, all these kind of things that can help us to get better. So we have to think about the bigger picture, which is why it's so important to be preventative. Now that you have this information, if you are in your 30s, or if you're listening to this and you're even younger, start then, because you're more resilient in your 20s, which means you can achieve results straight away. Moreover, if you achieve results, feel great already at that age, and you learn this will become your lifestyle, which means you're never going to have to worry about it later, unless you fall off the wagon and go and have hyper processed foods and McDonald's every week. But that's such a parallel shift to your life. I only know women that may have had a very unhealthy lifestyle, but once they learn this and they are sticking to this, they don't want to go back. So they become champions with this. My best referrals come from women that have learned this, applied it, and have taken it on board, and it became their lifestyle, because they're like, you taught me something that is a skill that I can take into my life. After 6 months to a year, they don't even have to work with me anymore. And I'm like, graduation day, yes. I don't want them to work with me forever. I want them to work with me the amount of time it takes for them to learn what they need and then move on and apply it. And and then I hope that they do and they continue. But the ones that definitely refer people to me that do well are the ones that are working on it, and they are doing really, really amazing because they made it their point to make it a lifestyle. So I hope this helps. Quick 20 minutes to share this. I just want you to think about it. Put your comments below. Tell me how this is for you, how you feel. Do you feel inflammation acutely? Do you feel like your body's just not right? Do you want to learn more? Ask questions, put it below. I'm here to listen to you. Not active on Facebook. If you want to get back in touch with me, WhatsApp, or on my website through my email, chantal@livelyinhealth, or through Instagram, where I'm most active, and you will be able to just get in touch with me. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to put a comment here. Guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye.